Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name's Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi in the chat or hey, or use other people's emotes, or continue to be a lurker and not say shit. I am here. I have, Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. I'm using my new computer and I managed, Dirty's here. Welcome, Dirty. I managed to get the Logitech software I needed for my webcams. Dirty wants me to hit the ska button. I'll hit it in just a second. Hi, Aristophan. I will hit that ska button in just one moment. I'm going to allow people to come in, and then I will hit that button just momentarily. I just want to get this out. So, got the new computer set up. Got the the Logitech software I needed so that it's not constantly trying to autofocus, even though I turned autofocus off on the overhead camera. Right now, for whatever reason, I'm very yellow. Like, that's a yellowish wall, but the colors aren't right. Color on me, not right. Overhead camera seems okay. Me, I'm not liking this, but at the very least, I'm not like artificially lit via the 3 monitors I have, which is what I was running into lately. So I'm not super complaining about it. It's just weird. Anyway, you use those channel points, and so you get yourself some ska. Yeah, Lashbrook says I was going to say the shot is very warm. Yes, that is a good descriptor of it. It feels warm. Like I shot today, and it'll go up tomorrow for everybody except for my $5 and $10 patrons. I shot a video of the kit that I got from my Amazon wish list in the mail, the next mailbag video, and I was like, ooh. Now, a thing I was running into is when I shot here in this room during the day, it didn't look great. I didn't look great because of the natural light that was coming in, mixing with the lamp light that's in here, the room light. So this is better. So in some ways, this is better, but in other ways, it's not, because it does look kind of like I have a sunburn, and I'm not going for that look. So I'm going to have to mess around with it. That's going to be tomorrow. Today was getting everything set up, because also what was happening was if I didn't have the Logitech software, anything that I was doing in the advanced settings for either webcam wasn't saving once OBS closed. So I'd have to redo everything. So like the zoom wasn't handling correctly, wasn't remembering not to autofocus, that kind of stuff. I have set up right now, this camera won't autofocus on me, won't autofocus anymore, because I can't have one autofocus and the other not autofocus, which is frustrating. But we aren't running into the problem where the overhead camera, no matter what I'm trying to do, will just constantly try to light balance, like auto light balance. It won't be doing that, which is great, because in testing on Thursday, I was running into that problem, and it was fucking annoying. So we don't have that issue, which is great. Still working out the kinks, as they say. I've got all my software downloaded, including, thanks to download.com, owned by CNET. Thank you, CNET. So I guess owned by CBS. Download.com still has the Windows Essentials 2012 edition, and you can decide what from that you want to you actually want to install. And so I have Windows Movie Maker. And you're asking yourself, Pat, why do you still use Windows Movie Maker? Well, because it's a very light, easy to use, and quick way to quickly edit a video if you don't care about doing anything fancy with it. It's a quick and dirty method. Because I record my video stuff in OBS. So if I'm doing any kind of YouTube video, it's here. And sometimes I forget to hit record, stop recording at the end of a video. And maybe I just want to, edit that last chunk out, or do it like a quick little edit here and there. Very simple for that, to edit it and then to export the video however I want and then upload it. It's just an easy program to use. I'm gonna drink a little water. I've got also, you love title cards of white text on a blue background. I do love the default text, the very who made this text. Because sometimes I don't want to open a high CPU intensive video editing program that also for some reason takes like 30 minutes to render a video that is 15 minutes video. And you're just like, no, stop that. You just want something that runs quick and easy. Now, I'm sure that Premiere is going to work better on this computer in that right now streaming is using 3% of my CPU, which is so nice. My laptop, this is a fun thing. I don't know if I said this. When I have to stream on my laptop and I'm using the webcam that's built in and then one other webcam, one of these webcams for building, and I stream it and record locally, that's 33% of that computer's CPU is just streaming. So it's just like, yikes. When I was just using that, when I had shipped my computer here to South Carolina and I was using my laptop and a TV as a second monitor, it was very unhappy with that setup, having like a second monitor. Oh, it was so unhappy. My old HD TV that I got for like $600 at JVC World because it didn't have a TV tuner in it, so it was cheaper. Because back in the day, when HD TVs were coming out, that was still when people also wanted over-the-air television. It was a very odd time. It was years and years ago. So anyway, yeah, I'm feeling a little more orangey yellow than I would like, but I don't feel like I'm in the dark. In a room this room right now has 3 lamps going. I got one right there, one kind of over there, and one back there. And this room is well lit, god damn it. It might not be evenly lit, but it is well lit. We're gonna work on the Helios. We got the top of the Helios done. But we still have got a leg here. We're gonna build an ankle so we can put a foot on it. Unfortunately, that ankle does have a sticker on it. What are you gonna do? Imagine how well lit it would be with RGB. John. We'll get into that because I'll give you an update post Thursday stream update while people were like giving me a bunch of fucking suggestions about they're being nice, but they were giving me a lot of suggestions about my RGB bullshit. And I have a response to that, and we'll get into it when we get into the building. We do have to put a sticker on, as I said. Not too many stickers on this kit, though. We're currently just on R. Yeah. All right, let me retweet my tweet. See if maybe we'll get a few more friends to join us tonight. I don't know. Sometimes Saturdays here are nice and busy. Sometimes they're dead quiet, and that's okay. Either is all right. You all are here, and that's nice. Y'all are here. Okay, overhead. Great. I also changed the marker thing to be a little smaller because it was taking up too much real estate. We are at 41 subscribers. Would love to get back up to 50. I would be so pleased to get back up to 50. If you consider subscribing, if you're not already a subscriber, you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community or a random stranger who just happened to come by and all of a sudden gets a sub and they're like, what? I don't remember that stream at all. Give it a thought. No pressure. I finally did my taxes exactly what Pat did. Got a better PC. Hell yeah, John. That way you can, for me anyway, this PC. Also, I don't know if I ever said this out loud. Hey, guess what? Guess what's a business expense for 2022's taxes? This PC. Hey, we just got a new subscriber. That's Q-Lanth or Clanth. Thank you for subscribing with Prime. Going to hit the old applause, and we'll get some claps. Thank you very much for using your Prime link. Yeah, folks, if you haven't already, linked your Amazon Prime with your Twitch Prime. I do know that. Also, hey, reminder: Amazon Prime is going up in price. So if you're not using it, like you don't stream anything on it, and you don't buy a lot of stuff from Amazon these days. Now's probably the best time to say, I'm done with this shit. I'm keeping the price increase. It's fine. That is the thing I write off my taxes. Thank you for the Bezos bucks. I do appreciate it. I'm going to throw the emotes in there. Enjoy your emotes and not seeing ads. You won't get served an ad during the stream, which is nice. I'm going to write off this computer as a business expense because it is. Hey, holy shit. We just got 10 gift subs. Ghost Valve, I'll get to you in a second. I am going to well, we're going to hit the applause. We got a nice long applause. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the subs thing. Oops, there we go. Turn that off because we don't need that. We'll hit applause again because that's a lot. And then welcome to subscriptions to What the Furios, Brozard, That's Quasi, Luckless Burrito, great name, Bald Ridge, Chris Weed Piano, love that Chris Weed, Tony the Swordsman, love that Tony, Dragon Wolf 800080, Amethyst, and Epic Open World. All tier 1 subs gifted by an anonymous gift sub. Thank you very much for that, for all those gifts. That's so wild. Oh, Red Room Gaming is now following. Thank you for joining in. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Cite the Moat in the chat. Thank you. Welcome. Some folks are coming in, getting themselves some emotes and not seeing ads. Other people coming back after a little bit, which is very nice. Ghost Valve said, I'm considering getting a new PC with my taxes. My PC has periods of crashing multiple times a day before going back to normal. Hey, that's fucking terrible. Now, obviously, I don't recommend people throw a shitload of money out there. Also, we have a hype train. We had a hype train. Hype train is happening. A hype train has started. Because Aristvan just gave Akito a subscription. So Akito, welcome. And also, that's Aristvan's 81st sub, which is so many fucking gift subs to give out. That's ridiculous. But yeah, we're in a hype train, which I don't generally get, and that's very fucking cool. Red Room Gaming says, I just bought my Gundam model. Nice. Enjoy. And John says, my computer was also in the crashing period, and that's what led me to get a build. Yeah, obviously. I am not telling people to spend thousands of dollars, but I am saying that computers are fucking important to have. Like, working computers, very important. So as I start working on, because I got to add a sticker and cut out some pieces here, I'm going to give Red Room Gaming a tip for a newbie. Yeah, my biggest tip is take your time with it, right? You don't need these kind of snippers. These snippers are expensive. You don't need something big. You can do it with wire cutters. You know, the tools are kitchen shears. You know, you can make do. You can rock the pieces out. I don't recommend rocking the pieces out with your fingers. I recommend using some kind of tool. But yeah, take your time with it because, like, Lego is something that you can, that's C1, and this is C1, okay, C1 6. Lego is something you can go and fix. Model kits are harder to fix. Like, if you snap a part, it's harder to do. It's also hard to, like, let's say that I put this on wrong, right? Let's just say that I put this on wrong and it wasn't going to pop out. To open all this again, this plastic, I'm going to use a spudger that you might use to work on, like, a smartphone. It's going to take a while. Pre-ordered, I should say, a brick separator, not the brick separator, the plastic part separator that is similar to the Lego brick separator. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar in concept. And I don't know how well that's going to work. I'm going to do a thorough testing of it and then let people know. But basically, you just take your time, right? If you're working with a kit you really know well because you know the manga or anime it's from, that's always nice. Like, I say that I can build a death scythe with my eyes closed because I love the death scythe and I've built a lot of death scythes. But the Helios, this is a mishmash of different kits. And I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure exactly which, part is this and what part is that. And I'm like, okay, I'm not 100% sure on this, so I'm going to take my time with it. I have had a friend who their very first kit was a real grade. And I was like, hey, maybe don't build a real grade for your first kit. But they had experience. They had a lot of experience doing glue kits, like car glue kits and ship glue kits. So they were well versed. I would say you start with a high grade or the entry grade kits. Entry grade kits are very fun to get started with. My first one is a real grade as well. Okay, so Real grades are very detailed. They are incredibly detailed. Like this high grade. So let's look at this high grade, right? This high grade here, this foot is 4 pieces. This is 4 pieces right here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. A real grade is probably going to have 10 pieces in a foot, maybe. So you're going to get a lot more detail. It's going to be a lot more all-encompassing. So you just really have to take your time with it. Don't know what you mean by to eat. Maybe a reference to something else I said, or maybe I said something in a way that made you think I was suggesting eating, but I don't know. We don't eat model kits around here. We have built food. How many have I built? Oh, a lot of model kits. I call myself, like, I'm not an expert by any means, but I am someone that has done a lot of building, and I have learned a lot over the course of those building time. I mean, I've been doing this now for 4 years, and I've built a lot of high grades, a lot of master grades. Hey, well, thank you for the cheer. We'll hit the old cha-ching there. Cha-ching. And thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, oh, wow, cool. Hey, I got an emote for the hype train. That's very fun. That's nice. But yeah, thank you so much for those bits. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm happy you found it too. Yeah, I've been doing this for like 4 years. I built before that, but I've been streaming as do model kit streams for about 4 years. And I do Lego stuff as well, but I also primarily do model kits of the snap build. This kind. Your Bandai model kits is traditionally what I do. I've done some glue kits using liquid cement, and I've done a couple papercraft kits that just use regular old Elmer's glue. But I primarily do model kits that Bandai makes, generally Gundams, or mobile suits from various Gundam series, because there are a lot of them. And also, here's the nice thing about Bandai. For all their faults, and they do have faults, they kind of know how to make model kits these days. Like, they're occasionally challenging, but they're not like impossible or broken. And you can't say that about every company out there. Like a US-based company that has like the Star Trek license and a few other licenses, Polar Lights, they're fine, but they don't make kits with enough detail, in my opinion. They don't like, I don't know, their plastic production leaves a lot to be desired. And they're still like, they haven't been making model kits for 40 years. So, what are you going to do? I have not done any 40K models. I painted, not on stream. I did this actually at PAX Unplugged. I did a little figure, but not well. I'm not a painter by any means, so I don't generally go for that. I've been using markers, and I really enjoy markers, but I haven't really gotten into Warhammer stuff. Picked up the Wing Gundam Zero EW. Ooh, just saw it and was like, that looks cool. Maybe I should buy it. Yeah. I mean, the Wing Zero is cool. I mean, here's the thing. The Wing Zero is a cool kit, and I enjoyed that real grade. But yeah, the real big recommendation is, I said this already, but I'll reiterate, is just take your time with it. The nice thing is with symmetrical kits, right? You build an arm. You struggle with that left arm. When it's time to do the right arm, you're like, oh, I know how this works because I already did it. I already took my time there, and you start to figure stuff out. Also with like the wing kits from Gundam Wing is like the legs are the same, right? Like maybe the feet are a little different, but like the knees. So like when you go to another one, you're like, okay, these are at least similar because lore-wise, they're all from the same base, which was the Wing Zero was the base for all the other Gundams. So like he's like, okay, well there you go. It's like the Death Scythe legs look like the Sandrock legs. look like the heavy arms legs. So that also makes it easier. But yeah. Oh yeah, Blizzard saying thank you to Gift Subber. Yeah, thank you for all the subs. It's so nice. So nice to have like a bunch of subs come in all at once. Very kind to y'all. All right, we got a sticker on here. Our color correcting stickers. Not a big fan of color correcting stickers. You know that. That's my thoughts. Folks that have been here a while. But this kit doesn't. I mean, it does. I'm not gonna lie. This one has a bunch of color correcting, but because this series is all about people that made their own versions of Gundams. Like it makes sense that that they're like patchworked because most of them are kit bashy in nature. I build model kits on this stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, I only do about 2 hours a night. Okay, so this is gonna go like that, and then that goes. Oh, I'm looking at it upside down. There you go. And then on Wednesdays I stream, but I don't build model kits on Wednesdays. Wednesday is like my variety night where I play video games. Sometimes video games with the chat. Sometimes I do other things. This coming Wednesday I'm doing karaoke because I haven't sang karaoke in a while. And why not? Why not use my brand new computer to play YouTube videos? The timing is very strange. That'll be my first Wednesday stream on my new system. This was the thing I wanted to bring up. I tried to talk about it before, and then we got lovely support from all of you, so I couldn't keep talking about it. This PC case, I was talking about it on Thursday because I got my new computer on Thursday. I was like, oh, I got all this RGB. I got 4 fans in this case, 3 in the front, 1 in the back, and they're all pulsing on that like different colors, going through the different colors and spinning, the colors spinning around in there. Obviously the fan's spinning as well, and I'm like, I don't like any of this. I'm not a big fan of this. I could turn off the CPU cooler. I was able to access that through software and turn that off. And my motherboard doesn't have an RGB, which is great, and my RAM doesn't have RGB. That's great too. But I was like, okay, how do I turn these 4 fans off? There's probably like the neon vomit. Yes, there's probably a connector. Maybe it's inside. There's this button near the USB, but I don't know what that button does, and maybe it's a reset button because I don't know why this PC case would have a reset button, but it might. So I don't want to touch that until I know what it is. That's not a reset button. That is the controller for these lights. There's these 4 fans just have 1 cable coming out of each of them that then daisy chain together, and then one end plugs into the power supply and the other end plugs into the control button, which just rotates through the options. Doesn't plug into the motherboard at all, so I can't control it through the motherboard. And, oh yeah, turbo button. Yeah, no, it's not a turbo button. And if I unplug one side, because you're like, well, you could just probably like unplug it from the control unit, right? No. If I unplug it from the control unit, after looking up from it, if I unplug it from there, the fans don't work. The fans have to go to that button because the people that made the case made these fans. I have a program called Rgb Fusion. Yeah, so Rgb Fusion is letting me turn off the stuff the fans that are plugged into the motherboard. That lets me turn those off that are controlled like that. So my CPU fan, I can control that. Now, I have 3 options. Option 1, live with it, which I'm doing right now. I have it set to like an off-white, and it just pulses on and off. And I've set it to that. And I have like the front of the case pointed away from me, so I only see the back fan. I don't love that solution. Also, I don't love, the outtake fan being pointed near me. I don't like that. So that's got to change. But right now, that's where we're living with it. Option 2, buy 4 new fans. Either fans without RGB or fans that it's optional RGB, or fans that I can turn off the RGB in like Fusion. That's option 2. I don't want to replace perfectly good working fans with new fans and have to like dig them all out and put fans in so soon after just getting it. So, I get 3 more FPS. Yes, so it's definitely worth it. Why does this not want to go in? Oh, pro tip for Red Rum and everybody else. If you heard a snapping sound, it's okay that happened in this case. You generally don't want to hear a snapping sound or a clicking sound when you are assembling a model kit. I don't like that. That was supposed to happen. I don't enjoy that part. No. That's to me is not a great sound. All right, we completed the right leg, and now we're going to start working on the left leg. Let's put that up there. There. Let's get into the left leg, which is the same assembly as the other one. The manual on Gundams will usually call it out. Yes, Lashbrook. Often they will say something about a clicking noise. This one didn't, but sometimes they will have like a big thing to let you know, like, hey, this is going to make a sound. This one did not make that notification, which is a little frustrating. All right, we need C2. Got to find C2, which is this one. There's C2. So we'll pull that out. So the third option, I said there were 3 options about all of my fan shenanigans. Fanigans? No. That doesn't work. So what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So the third solution is that I scrape off the actual LED lights for each of these fans. Like take them out, scrape off the LEDs, careful to not ruin it. There are some photos of a how-to in a Reddit thread that I saw, and the person who did it did a follow-up saying, "Hey, I only broke 1 fan doing this." I don't know, Lashbrook. I didn't look too closely on that because I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not breaking an LED. Also, these fans are powered via Molex. There's just one long Molex connectors, which is weird. I guess that's how they do it, so they can do everything all in one cable. I guess. I don't know. I looked up the fans, and they are like very inexpensive. Definitely not ARGB. Yeah, definitely. And part of the reason why they're inexpensive, I think, is because you can't customize the lighting on them other than cycling through on the case. But I do have some fans, and like I haven't put them on. Like maybe I'll put them on the wish list, like replacement fans. Right now, I don't really like. Look, I obviously care about this because it's annoying, but like. I had thought about like, look, if I put it underneath my desk, I'm not going to see it. Like I could do that here. I could just put it under the desk and I wouldn't see it at all. I can't put it underneath my desk when I go back to the bedroom because right now I'm here in the bonus room of the house. But when I go back to my bedroom, I can't do that because, as you may remember, that bedroom is carpeted. So I can't put the... I would need a stand of some kind to put the PC case on that also would mean that it wouldn't like bump the bottom of the desk. I can maybe find something to put that on, but also that would be open enough to allow airflow from like the, yeah. So, okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, you're welcome back anytime. I always say for folks, I don't demand you be here all the dang time, and you never have to apologize for missing a stream or two, but you're always welcome because we got a nice little fun community of folks here. And I build model kits and talk about all kinds of nonsense. So you're welcome. I'm glad you came in. Glad you found it. And good luck with the model kit. What else we got to need here? Okay, polycaps. Okay, so what polycap do we need for this? We need 8. For the reason on these don't like come out just easy, so you gotta do that. Well, yeah, goodbye. Thanks for being here. So anyway, that's the saga with the fans. I think I'm going to move the computer underneath the desk while I'm still here, because I'm here until like the first week of March. I move this stuff back into the bedroom because my folks are coming back from vacation, which will be great. Happy to have them back. Then I have to give up this room again that I have taken over to separate. As I said, the main reason I do this is it just makes a lot more sense to have that room be the place that I sleep in and not also do all my work in when I'm alone in this house. Let's see. So yeah, excited to have some available, or yeah, always happy to have this space, but also I think that will solve I keep looking at this. Also, it should solve the fact that I have this exhaust fan near here. I do have to go into Discord because I haven't used Discord since I got the computer. I've used it for chatting, but I haven't used it for audio or anything. So I can go in there and like tweak the like what gets cut out and all that. I got to go through all that process, figure that all out, but it'll work out just fine. That'll be okay. There's probably like a very low like fan noise at the very, like when I stop talking. I can see the mic pick up a little bit of something, and that's fine. I don't mind that too much because my audio is never great. My audio is mostly just like, this is better than my previous setup, although my last motherboard had a USB that was meant for audio, and that was really nice. This does not have that, so I am trying to just have my audio be on its own like USB bus. I did add a USB 3.0 hub to my Amazon wish list because it would be nice to put like all of like my keyboard and my mouse and stuff I don't like, whatever, and then even like the Stream Deck all on like that. That would be kind of nice, and then free up the top of the cases plugs, because right now I'm using 2 out of 3 ports, and I'd rather just have like 1 port there. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but that's what I'm thinking of right now. But overall, really enjoying the computer. I played a bunch of Fallout 4 yesterday. Got all my mods for Fallout 4 downloaded. A couple mods don't exist anymore, and I was like, oh no, I need that mod. So I'm like looking for solutions like replacement mods, because apparently, like, you know, once you decide you're not going to have your mod on Nexus mods, like, you can still run it if someone put it up there, but if it's off the site, then you can't re-download it, which makes sense. But I was like, oh, but the settler spawner was really helpful. You just spawn settlers when you need settlers, because sometimes you don't want to wait for the time to pass in the game and random new people to show up in your settlement. You just want to spawn them and make them and then assign them tasks when you have totally broken the game via mods, like I have. That's the level of video games, that's where I'm at with video games these days. I am still playing Fallout 4. I mean, I have other games that I play, but I also still very much enjoy the nonsense that is Fallout 4. Heavily modded, completely broken, totally weird version of Fallout 4 is still like my jam. And it crashed a couple times, but that's mostly Fallout and the amount of mods I have. It's not like an issue with my computer. Power Wash Simulator is running fucking great on this computer. I knew it would. Oh, it's running great. It's looking good and running fantastic. Can't complain at all about that. Just having a great time with that particular piece of gear. Turning up all of the settings on Power Wash Simulator is really nice. I'm running basically like on ultra settings, and it's totally fine, totally works. That's been super nice to have. Let's see, E17. E17 is this one? Great. Okay. Let's see. Anything else with the computer that I've noticed? I don't know. No real quirks. Oh, here's one thing I'd forgotten was going to happen. I logged in with my Microsoft account, and it remembered what my Tide background image was. So all of my monitors had my background image from my last computer, and I didn't have to like set it. It just like when my computer like it's like I put this information in. Oh yeah, log in with your Microsoft account, and then it was like great, and then it just imported the 4 cats, the Japanese Pizza Hut cats photo, just like it has been my desktop because looking at it makes me happy. It's a simple little thing. But yeah, that photo is just like there. And that absolutely rules. I didn't have to set it. It was just there. Also, it's nice because then when like occasionally like a game crashes and I use and my desktop gets shown on screen, that you're just seeing those cats, and that's nice. We won't see it here because I don't have display set up. Anything else about the old Computor? I don't think so. There's anything else. It's it's just nice to have it running super well, running stable. Yeah, I don't have anything really else to say about that computer. Let's see. It feels very strange to like the work of Brock Lesnar in the wrestling world, the professional wrestling ring, to enjoy the works of one Brock Lesnar, who I have been generally against in the past several years of coming in, having a title, not really being around, not really doing much. Seems like he's going to be making a lot of appearances between now and WrestleMania. He won the title in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view by winning the Chamber in a very strange manner. In my opinion, the champion lost without being pinned, which sucks and I don't think is cool. And also, the WWE champion, there's only been so many black WWE champions, and all of them have lost their titles to Brock Lesnar. Now, was Bobby Lashley pinned by Brock Lesnar in this case? No. But he was champion going in, and he is not champion anymore. I never really saw prime Brock Lesnar. I've only experienced got a hold on the belt and defend like 3 times a year Lesnar. So, I mean, rookie Brock Lesnar was incredible. There's the famous moonsault where he almost permanently injured himself. But that moonsault was, when he was doing the moonsault, it was incredible. His F5s were devastating. He had the look. He just looked like, I'm not like a looks guy when it comes to wrestling. I'm a personality guy. And Brock Lesnar hasn't had a personality until 2022. Like, this Brock Lesnar is fun. We got a hint of it. When Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank and was carrying it around like a boombox, that was kind of fun. That's the first time Brock Lesnar was ever fun, ever. He's never been fun. This Brock Lesnar, like, is really fun. This, like, I've got a ponytail, I got a man bun because my kids bet me that I wouldn't do it on TV. Like Brock Lesnar of this, like, trash talking, still very confident Brock Lesnar is, like, interesting. This is the most I've been in. Like, I'm a baby face, but like, I'm still Brock Lesnar. Like, he's the most interesting version of that performer I've seen in ever. So I am intrigued by it. Again, don't love that he has pinned every black WWE champion of that belt, the WWE champion, the which used to be the championship, which was then before that, is now the whatever the universal, but is still like the big one. It is still not great, not a great look. Still would love to see some people in the title picture who aren't. Hello, welcome, PG name. The Helios Gundam is parts of this kit are from 2019 and parts are from 2016. So it's a pretty modern build. It's so far not my favorite of the Gundam Breaker Battlelog because it's from a Gundam Breaker Battlelog. So it is the kind of kit bashing, the kit bash the show. So it's been pretty easy so far. I think the kind of like green extra parts here, the kind of like fan parts here, are like the trickiest part. It's been fine so far. There's nothing about it that I'm like, oh, this is very difficult. But also there's nothing about it that's like super exciting. Let's be real. I'm building this because I want to build all of the Gundam Breaker Battlelog kits and then eventually do the suggested kit bashing that they recommend in the instructions. So this one wouldn't have been like top of the list for me, but I like the detail on the legs. I think the detail on the legs actually is kind of neat. So this kit's been pretty fun for panel lining. I'll say that's my favorite part of that. The rest, the connection. Okay. That's not great. I don't love hearing that. So it may need a little. Maybe I'm gonna have to get myself a little blue tack. I got blue tack. I don't have it on me, but maybe when it's time to put this all together, I might want to put a little blue tack on there just to make sure everything's going good. But that's good to know. Sometimes these like. Even though it's a kit bash, it's one of those things you're like, not arms, the body to the hips. Okay, so the waist there, not wrist, waist. Okay, the waist connection. Okay, that's good to know. I will keep an eye on that when it's time to put that together. Like I said, it might need a little help. Because that's the thing, right? When you or I do a kit bash, we're like mashing a bunch of stuff together. We're bashing them together. Like we're doing our best with what we've got and making it work. And a thing that shouldn't work. When Bandai is like, this kit is elements of these two kits, like it should be at a higher standard. I find it funny that I can use SD parts. Yeah. I mean, the nice thing is that it's like, because it is this kit bash elements to it, like there are a lot of fun extra things you can do with these kits and kind of mix and match. And I know that some people have been doing like their own kit bashing based on their own designs, taken in different directions, and I do like that. I also somebody took the Live Lance parts, which is like the inverse Death Scythe Hell, and made it like back into a Death Scythe Hell, and that's pretty cool. It looks really good. I can't wait. They still haven't announced that. HG Lupus Rex hands on the HG Helios. Yeah, they haven't announced the Death Scythe Hell high grade because that Live Lance, like, that's all new pieces. Those are all new. So the Hell high grade is going to have to come out. The Death Scythe Hell that is got like all like green and transparent green. That is only at the Gundam base stores, so that came out, but the Hell hasn't. The Live Lance is fun. That was like the first one of these I built, and it's really good looking. The arms are particularly are new parts, but it's one of those things you're like, all right, well they're gonna definitely make a Death Scythe Hell. We just don't have it right now, so that's coming, which is great because I want to build it. I like building Death Scythes. So we know you only have the Helios currently. Okay, yeah, I have built most of them. The there's like three kinds, right? There's just the repaints like the Sky Zero, which is just a Wing Gundam, or the Crimson Goof Custom Crimson, which is just a Goof but in beautiful looking colors, like that beautiful red. Then there are ones that are like a couple of the it's a couple kits like bashed together, and then there are ones that are like really weird, like the Live Lance. I think is just it's two kits kind of put together, but they do something different with it, so I can appreciate it. Let's see, what do you need? G16. Why do I have F in my hand? I need G. Like the Barbatorus is the really weird one. The Barbatorus is obviously the most like new parts and weird kit, which I really like. It's hard to display it because it does have like 4 legs, but it still turned out great. The Blaze Burning is a weird one because it's got the foot, but that's a kit from like 2008. Yeah, it's like a God Gundam mix, but it's also, like I said, it's the high grade God Gundam from like 2008 or 2010 with like a new foot and then like some new extra parts. But it's mostly just like it's kind of like trying to be like a Rising Gundam kind of a situation, like a sister Gundam. So that's a weird one. But yeah, like what was the one that's like the Strike Freedom Perfect, or the Perfect Strike Freedom, is just 2 strikes bashed together, and it's like, that's kind of fun. Like, I could see someone doing that. I'm sure that someone else's kit bashed it like that has taken a bunch of different Strike Gundams and been like, all right, now you get mashed together, and we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't dislike it, but it is a little weird. Some of them are weird. Yes. Oh, the new MGX Strike Freedom. Yeah. That does look really good. That is, I don't think I'm going to be picking that one up, but it does look good. And I understand why people are very excited about it. Okay, so let's see. This is, got to make sure I'm pointing this in the right way. Okay, so I put this on wrong, but we can fix it. We can fix it. I did it wrong, but we can do what we got to do. Put this on here, this on here. I just did this, so it's one of those things where I'm like, you do one leg, and then the other leg should be pretty easy to do. Let's see, Ironhide says, reverse and said, this takes me back. Ironhide loves coming in with jokes. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ironhide. I never owned an MG and RG yet. Yeah, so I mean, real grades are like, real grades are the 144 scale. In some ways, they're easy to put together. In other ways, they're very difficult because they are small and they have a lot of detail. Whereas a master grade, even though there's a lot of detail, it's the 1/100 scale. So, sorry. So it is a little easier to build, to put together. I mean, there are pros and cons with both. I love the size of a master grade. I didn't always love the complexity of a real grade, but we built the real grade right there, the Zeong. That was very fun to put together. And the high new real grade that I put together pretty recently was also really fun to build. So I've had some good times with real grades lately. Helios is your first proper high grade. Oh, nice. You have 2 older high grades. Okay. Ironhide, so here's the deal with my bandanas. I have 12 of the same exact bandana. I don't wear the same one every day. I own 12 of the same. I had a couple bandanas, and then I started wearing them all the time because I had shaved my head, and I buzz cut it now. And I was sweating a lot. This was when I was in New York, and I didn't have air conditioning running while I streamed, and I was sweating all the time. And so I would start wearing a bandana when I streamed. And then I would wear a bandana when I would go out. And then one day I just like bought a package of all of the same, and I just rotate through them. And I'm like, oh, it's been a few days. I'm going to throw this in the wash. Okay, let me grab another bandana out of the bandana pile. So it is a thing where I own the same bandana, but I do have a lot of them. That is yes. Yes, this is the version of my black turtleneck. This is like my like band shirt, or like, oh, I own 7 black t-shirts or whatever, you know. Yeah, I just rotate through them. Um, I used to have a bunch of different ones, like, and then I would like mix and match in with those. But right now, I just have all the same one. Uh, and eventually, I'll just buy a bunch of new ones and throw out all of these. But it'll still be probably pretty similar. I don't know. They work for me. They don't throw them in the wash and they're clean. In the summertime, I have like when I lived in New York and I would be like getting out the subway and walking a lot and being out and about, I would have several like in my bag because I would like wear one and get to work and like sweat through it when I got to work. So then I would rinse it out in the sink and let it dry while I was at work and then just put on another bandana. So I had my getting to work bandana and my at work bandana. And then every once in a while I would forget my second one and I would have to like not wear it. But it's very funny because I went from having a pretty full head of hair with a bald spot like back here to shaving my head and wearing a bandana, and I didn't just have my shaved head, and so some people didn't know that I had shaved, that I have like this. This is actually not that thick for me. Sometimes it gets a little thicker, but people didn't know that that had known me for years, and then they would like see me like without the bandana and be like, "Oh wow, you shaved your head." I'm like, "I did that like 2 years ago, y'all. Come on, get with it." But it certainly surprised a few people in my life. PG name says the shield getting put on is a pain. On a kit. The booster and the gymnast. So sometimes shields are tough to put on a kit. Yeah, not always, but sometimes they can be frustrating. Depending on how they're built. If it's just attaches to the arm, sometimes those can be tough. You have to remove a clear piece on the HG Helios. What do you think of the MGEX Strike Freedom? Says, I don't know. So I like the look of it. It's not something that I think I'm going to pick up for me. It's not something that like dollars to time built makes sense. Like, this is a question that comes up and again, like, how do you pick what you build? And for the most part, I am trying to be pretty frugal, right? Like, if I'm going to spend $70 on a kit, it better take like 3 or 4 streams to put together, and also not be impossible to put together. And sometimes some of those extra kits are very difficult. It can be a little challenging. Oh, you're saying like the clear part here is hard to remove to then add like a shield. Yeah, I can see that being frustrating to get out. That totally makes sense. I probably wouldn't put a shield with this kit. I would just leave the arms like that. But I could see that being a problem. Like I don't look at kits just as would that look cool on a shelf? Would that be fun to build? I have to look at kits as would people be interested in watching me build this, right? I built a lot of high grades because high grades, like first of all, it's kind of interesting because Breaker Battlelog is the newest Gundam product, like series, right? So it's kind of interesting to build that. But also, those high grades were like $20-something, and it's hard to get high grades for a reasonable price right now because of the world we live in. It's just difficult to get those. So like, well, if I'm looking at a kit and it's like fairly reasonably priced, I'm going to pick that up. I pre-order real grades because real grades are going to jump in price, right? Like what will cost me $10 in shipping with my pre-order, and maybe I'll get a little bit of discount on the pre-order and spend a bunch of money there. Well, if I'm going to buy that, that's still going to be cheaper than getting it later. Yeah, and I pre-order and I usually get a discount on pre-order, but like if I'm buying old kits, you're paying a premium just to get them. You're paying the cost of business. Unfortunately, that is a reality that we live in right now, which I understand. It's part of it. But yeah, I mean, like, you did pre-order the RG God Gundam. Oh, I pre-ordered that because I've had a lot of good success and enjoyment with real grades recently. I've really been having fun building real grades this year. So I definitely pre-ordered that. Because also, Lashbrook says that is a good discount. But like, yeah, like with Target having some timed exclusives and some actual exclusives of kits if you have gift cards at Target, or if you get a employee discount at Target, or your friend and family discount at Target. Like, buying model kits at Target makes a lot of sense. If you get Amazon gift cards at a discount for whatever reason, from your work or whatever, buying kits on Amazon makes a lot of sense. If you have like a discount at a hobby shop, friends or family, or just in general. My local hobby shop has a point system and random discounts. Nice, yeah. If you got a local hobby shop that does that. Oh, also, Elite, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Always appreciate that. Appreciate the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. Yeah, if you got a discount at your hobby shop, that's the place to get kits. USA Gundam Store often does a small discount on pre-orders, and so I often get pre-orders from them, also because they are in Florida, so they are mailing me kits from Florida to South Carolina. But, you know, sometimes the Gundam Planet will have like a discount weekend, like an on-sale weekend, and I'm going to pick up a kit from them, or I'll pre-order something from them. You know, get your money where you can. I'm just wondering how to get my 10 set of Gun from Artifact. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, get your discounts where you can. Do what you need to do. So yeah, like metal build kits, right? Metal build kits are incredibly expensive, and I've never built one before. It might be interesting to stream me trying to figure it out, but what if I hate building metal kits? What if I absolutely hate putting them together, and I'm having a bad time, and I just spent a lot of money to get that, and then like I fuck up a metal part, and I'm just like, oh God, what am I gonna do? So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I would love it, but maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like metal build of the action figures, yes. So metal build of the action figures last work, but non-Bandai, there are non-Bandai metal kits that you can buy that seem to look very cool and seem to be nightmares to put together because they're made by companies that maybe aren't great. Birthday discounts, always nice. Yeah. Our country is having quite the crisis, to be honest. Apparently, penalties for shipping in Gunpla, at least according to a local hobby shop. Yeah, Ironhide. I mean, obviously, like, getting the things you need is tough. I remember we had somebody in chat who was from Denmark, and even though Lego it was founded in Denmark, they don't produce Lego there, and so they had to pay like a lot, like due to current tax situations, like import fees to import Lego was very expensive in the country that founded Lego. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, international stuff is really gonna be rough, right? Like for me, being here in America, like buying kits locally, buying stuff on Amazon, occasionally picking stuff up on eBay, but I rarely check out eBay. Usually eBay is for like, I have like a couple of alerts for kits that I really fucked up by not getting, that are like premium Bandais, and I will have alerts for eBay, and I will keep my eyes on them. I haven't picked up a kit on eBay in a long time, and I have pretty rigorous thoughts on, oops, this is on upside down. I put this on wrong. Fuck that up. Yes, totally. You're not wrong. So I keep an eye on those kind of things, but you know, then occasionally there's a kit that I don't have a connection in Japan right now. I used to have a connection to Japan, and I got a few kits from them. This is before I started streaming, unfortunately. But like, if I want something that is a Japanese exclusive, like the RX-782 that you could only get in 7-Elevens, like the only place you could buy it, because it was a 7-Eleven paint job, was in 7-Elevens, right? You had to know someone or work with a company that was literally based in Japan that would go to a 7-Eleven, buy it, and then send it to you. I don't have a connection of somebody to go do that. Like I do have, like I said, some connections here and there. I used to have more connections with the country, but I don't presently. So, or like the Gundam base. Hey, Lord Grashington, welcome. They're in Korea, in South Korea. There are the Gundam base stores, and there are some exclusives there, right? So you're looking at third party who go and buy them and then mark up quite a bit to sell it, or they'll put it up on auction sites in Japan, and then you have to like know the product number to search for like old premium kits before premium Bandai was a thing in the US, and you have to like really do your research to really like make sure you're getting exactly what you want, and then like hopefully that they take they'll take PayPal, and then you can send it internationally, and it's a lot. I don't usually mess with that. That's primarily why I buy a lot of kits on Amazon or local stores or USA Gundam Store or Gundam Planet, or pre-order stuff from Premium Bandai. I pre-ordered a kit from Premium Bandai. Let me show you this nonsense thing that I picked up. Pre-order for. I have the photo. This is like, I believe, the second time that this has been on there, but we'll look at this in a second here. I gotta look up to see where it is. Why can't that remember? Down there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is this thing? Oh yeah, this thing. I pre-ordered this Gundam inside a Transformer looking thing. Let's see. Got a network error, but no problems there. Okay, looks like we're all right. I had an issue with my dashboard, but everything looks okay. But yeah, I pre-ordered this fun friend that has like all of its armor also can transform over it, so it really does look like a version of Megatron. And that was an expensive pre-order for a high grade, but it's like a lot of parts. It's a big box. And it's a cool, weird looking kit that also like is going to be really fun to panel line. So I'm looking forward to picking that up and putting it together. And then like, it's got like, it doesn't necessarily have a transformation, like it doesn't have like a flight mode, but the armor can basically cover it to look different than that photo there. So that's a kit, that's like a kit that I didn't get the first time it was up for pre-order on Premium Bandai, but it's back, and I was like, this is totally worth the price. Also, if I waited until it was just like, if I waited until I have to buy it on, like somewhere, it would have been even more expensive. It looks like like a Zeok. Yeah, it's a little Zeok. To me, the colors remind me of the 2005 or 2008 when Transformers reissued like some of the classic Transformers. The Megatron had like kind of like colors a little like that, or it's also a little like Cyclonus colors, but it just looked neat, and I was like, this is something I want to put together. So I have finished the leg. We are going to take a pause for the cause. I'm going to do my ad reads because we're after 10 p.m. I didn't even notice the time. We're going to build the waist for this kit after the break, but this is a little bit of a break. This is not commercials, except for it is me telling you ways you can support the channel if you were so interested in, because I don't have sponsors. I have y'all watching and hanging out. And so we'll get through these pretty quickly. But if you're currently a subscriber, if you were gifted a sub, or if you subscribe on your own, you can throw the Barricade, the Lego, Cite the Moat in the chat. Cite the Moat is for tier 2 subscribers. Let the people know that you are a subscriber. Subscribing is the easiest way to support what I do. You could be like a Rista fan or the anonymous person who gifted some subs. You could be like Quanth, who use or Q-Lanth, who used their Prime Gaming token, or you use Cash Money. That is another way. Bits and coins, like Red Rum, who gave some bits, always appreciated. Bits and coins and subs, always appreciated. We are above our 50. Oh yeah, I can take that out. Sorry, I forgot to do that there. We have now gotten to our goal of hitting over 50 subs, which is great. And I appreciate everyone for that. This will only take a couple minutes of me talking to you about ways you can support the channel, and then we'll get back into model kit building. We'll talk about some anime and some manga. I also have a Patreon. If being in the Twitch system outside of just having an account is not something you're interested in doing, you can use your Patreon there. $1, $3, $5, and $10 tiers. So a lot of different options for you. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up YouTube? You can find all of this in the show description, including if you want to subscribe to my main YouTube channel, that's another way. Obviously, subscribing to YouTube channel is free, but there's also a membership, $2 a month, and you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. And the Wednesday video that I put up this past Wednesday, very good. We'll talk about that in a moment. Direct donations always appreciated. Direct donations go into a fund along with everything I make through Patreon and through Twitch and through YouTube. All of that goes into a fund. I buy model kits with that, including this Helios Gundam. The Helios there came from that fund, and it's much appreciated. If you're, one time or a monthly, it all goes in to continue me continuing to do this. So, I said that the next kit I'm going to be building is the Beyond Gundam for the 40th anniversary of Gundam, the high grade RX-782 Beyond Global, not Beyond Gundam, Beyond Global is the next kit. That was bought off my Amazon wish list. And so it jumps the queue. I have other high grades to build, but I'm going to build that next. If you'd like to buy something on my wish list, it comes through the mail. I shoot a video for my YouTube channel about the thing that you bought. I've got pre-orders for some things, including that intricate Kirby that'll be very easy to build, but will be very cute to put together. High grades, master grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kind of interesting kits like another RX-782. But that one is from the Olympics, the 2020 Paralympic emblem is on there. And that's just like a cool paint job. And it's got a nice stand. I don't know, that's fun. I could put that together. But yeah, old weird kits. Kits that just like, I never got around to building, would love to put together. But you can buy that. And then I have some accessories and tools at the bottom of that list in case you're like, I don't know, Pat, but I want to help. So here, I'll buy you this lighting thing. Enjoy. That mounts to your monitor. Okay. And then as an alternative to the Amazon wishlist, I do have an option of you going to USA Gundam Store, buying a gift card, and then sending me through DMs. My DMs are open on Twitter. The gift card code. You send me the gift card code, and I'll buy something at USA Gundam Store. In case you're not interested in using Amazon, which I understand. Let's see. I have a Discord that you can join. Feel free to do that. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's been fun to see M. John's Lego putting together. And other people have been doing stuff in there too and putting stuff in there. We're in our pause. We're paused here. We're getting back to building in just a moment or two. This is halfway through the stream. I always do my ad reads, quote unquote, where I'm just like telling you about a couple of ways you can support the channel, and then we'll get back into building. Yes. Okay. Let's see. A couple things to check out. Pat Bear's Anime Club is an ongoing video series that you could check out. This one was me talking about the Anime Awards, the Crunchyroll's Anime Awards. I talk about the winners and losers, the results of it. It was pretty fun, I think. And then Do You Remembaer is an ongoing video series that I do where every Wednesday I put up a new video. I read a Wikipedia article or article from another website, find something interesting, and then I quickly record and try to tell you everything about what I just read as best of my knowledge. This past Wednesday's video is about a book called Tonguing the Zeitgeist, which was a book that came out in the 90s, and I'll say it right now. I forgot to say in the video that the main character's name is Ben Tendo. Ben Tendo is the name of the main character in that book. And I forgot to say that, but I know other facts about Tonguing the Zeitgeist. So you can check that out because it's a ridiculous thing. That is a ridiculous book for me to talk about. I picked it because of the name. Ben Tendo. Yes. All right, we're going to talk about, we'll talk about some manga, and we'll talk about some anime, and then I'm also going to dramatically transition and drink a little water. That's a different dramatic sound that I used to have. I can't find the one that I used to have. I'm still looking for it. So I'm using that one, which is like fine, but not exactly what I wanted. Anyway, we're going to talk about a manga, and then we'll talk about some anime, and then we'll probably talk about video games, and I'll hear, what you guys are playing and watching, what y'all are doing. But right now, we'll start with talking about NEET's Guide to the Parallel World. Healer, the strongest cheat? Question mark? So, this is a weird one. I'll say what this is. So it is an isekai, otherworld. It is a group summon. A bunch of people get summoned from the classroom. Get summoned, and they all have powers. Our main character is a healer, which is the lowest ranked power, and I've never understood this, why healers are generally treated shitty, because they heal wounds. But that's not, these are supposed to be heroes from another world, right? And they're supposed to have super abilities. So I guess I can understand why you'd be like, well, we have plenty of healers. We don't need any fucking healers. We need people with cheat abilities. And also, this dude was already bullied before he got there. He was already treated like shit. So when he arrives, he's not suddenly treated better than he was before. So he is treated poorly. Is this the wrong piece? Yeah, this is the wrong piece. All right, put that there. Grab the wrong piece there. He's treated very poorly, and then the king is just like, I don't need this guy here. I'm going to teleport you away. Off to this place, and you'll just die there. So he ends up in a dungeon. We later learn the dungeon our main character has ended up in is where the demon lord lives. So, or a high powerful character basically lives there. And our dude is a low ranked healer. He doesn't really have any powers. He just has heal. He's not even a priest character. He's just a healer. So he's not even a high powered healer. And he's just all right, well, I'm going to find some gear and survive. And also, I'm going to get strong, and I'm going to get my fucking revenge. This dude is hell-bent on that shit. He is just I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to survive this, and then I'm going to show I'm going to show that shitty king, and the shitty country, and all the shitty students, classmates I had, that, they fucked with me, and they absolutely shouldn't have. And so it's oh, is this going to be one of those, violent, revenge tales? And I'll tell you this right now, folks. If it becomes that, okay, it's not that right now. Because our dude becomes overpowered, because of course he does. And then immediately has, a bunch of people that are really interested in helping him and hanging out with him, who are all ladies, some of whom are very overpowered, some of whom are not, but are just neat and fun. One of which is a demon in disguise as a human. One who is a knight, and she's comparatively pretty damn strong. And then the other one is recently he saved the life of a cat girl, and she's now hanging out and is just yep, well, you saved my life, and now I'm going to serve you and learn from you and protect you because you're just a healer. But our main character, first of all, his stats are all over the place because he defeated really strong monsters, because he can inverse abilities. He can steal abilities when he defeats someone, and then but he can't use regular magic right now. But he can use inverse magic, which doesn't make any sense. He can use healing, but he can also use the opposite of healing, which is a wave of destruction that will destroy basically anyone. And then there's some moves he can use. He can use some stuff, but he can also use mimic. He's just got he's incredibly overpowered. He's pretty aware that he's overpowered, which is nice. The last thing I'll say about this particular story, which I don't know if I necessarily recommend, but it's kind of fine. It might become annoying once we get into the revenge. There's a larger story happening with some people that met him and some other stuff, people that want to use him or work with him. He's hey, I'm trying to lay low. I've got a fake name that I'm using. I'm telling you right now that that's a fake name because I don't want to use my regular name, because I don't want the people who banished me here that think I'm dead. I don't want them to find out I'm alive and I have powers, because then they're going to want me to work for them, which makes a lot of sense. Nobody fucking he's told 2 people what his real name is, and they immediately say it in front of other people, and now a bunch of people know his regular name. And it's very funny because he was just like, hey, don't tell anyone my name, and they're like, got it, no problem. Oh shit, I'm a little drunk, it just said your name. And it's been pretty fun. So I don't know if I recommend a NEET guide to the parallel world healer, the strongest cheat. It's fine enough, but you could probably find something that you're gonna like even better out there. So maybe no. And now I shall chat with you about anime, because I've been watching some anime. First off, Slow Loop continues to be like really sweet. This is the slice of life show this season to watch, because it's not abundantly overpoweredly horny like a couple other slow lives this season. So this is the slow life chill anime of the season to watch. Maybe there could be even more fishing than we get, because we're getting a lot of like fishing as an excuse to have people have conversations, instead of like this show is about how cool fishing is. So I'm not like super sold on that part, but it's still enjoyable, and I would say recommend it. I haven't done my like what to watch this season video, but this one might end up on there. That's probably the next Pat Bear's Anime Club, because I didn't do one for last season, because last season wasn't good and I didn't have anything really to recommend. So I might do that for this particular season, because there's been some stuff I enjoyed. All right, we'll put this the butt on here. We'll panel line this, even though no one's going to see it, just because it's nice to get the practice of panel lining. So we'll do that. Also, I got to put the sticker on better. I didn't do the sticker fully right. There. So yeah. The strongest sage with the weakest crest. This show moves. Like, first off, they skipped a bunch of the manga, and which is fine, because it was like they wanted to get him to a certain age. But like, even with that, they still move. Like, we're out of the school. We're adventuring. We already got to a dungeon. We already found out in this episode. Well, we suspect that the dungeon is being the dungeon city is being run by a demon. Or demon collaborator, we suspect, because there's some stuff going on there. But yeah, we got to see our characters be overpowered. We had some fun shenanigans. Our favorite character continues to be very fun, which is Iris, our dragon, a girl who is also a dragon, and I enjoy that she's still not quite used to that. They were prepping to do some cooking, and she was like, I'll get firewood. And her method of getting firewood was to just go like this with her hands at a tree and just completely destroy the tree and break it into like kindling. And that was very cute, because she's just like, I'm helping. She is fun. She most likely is heavily implied that she defeated a incredibly strong monster by bashing it in the head with her head, which is also very fun. She is cute, and that is enjoyable. But yeah, this thing's got an incredibly fast pace and just fucking moves. And it's one of those things where you're just like, he's so overpowered. They're like, yeah, all right, there's going to be some problems in the next episode, and then they're just going to fucking solve it. It's not going to be a big deal. No need to worry about it. And everybody else in the group is getting stronger too. There were some shenanigans in this episode with like, oh, the 4 of them are staying in the same room. That's awkward for 2 of them. And for the other 2, it's not awkward. Okay. All right. Like, that's not the best part of it by any means, but it also doesn't take too long. Yes. It's if you like a show where you're never in doubt that the main character is going to fucking solve the problem, this is the show for you. You never worry about Maddie. Like, even if you're like, oh no, there's multiple demons. They're about to get murdered by this guy. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you maybe the minor characters or the supporting characters might be in peril a little bit, but like they're pretty strong. They're figuring things out. They've gotten a lot stronger by being with Maddie. Also, like, you've got a dragon in human form. We're not going to run into any problems. Everything's going to be good. It's going to work out. Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, Part 2. We paused all of the romance nonsense. There's a little, like, shenanigans with that. But for the most part, we have paused the romance. Lashberg, I get what you're saying. I didn't want to write Ice Ice Baby into chat. But I do know what you're saying, Lashbrook, and I understand. I get it. So How a Realist Hero, we got into more of the drama stuff. Basically, we're past the part of the manga, right? So I don't know if we have just kind of like narrated through what happened there, but we have now jumped to the part where the country that they were at war at the end of the last episode with is now completely annexing itself and joining. So that's happening. And then the thing that was happening behind the scenes that we knew about, but our main character didn't know about, because he knew somebody was like moving the country like in that direction, making this like annexing happen, was aware it was going on. And that was the princess of that kingdom. She shows up and drops the bombshell. Hey, I'm here so that we can get married. She wants to marry the king of that to unite the kingdoms instead of just annexing it to control whatever. We don't know why she wants to do that. We knew that she was involved from day one because she knew that her father and her brother were both going to ruin the kingdom that she was in. And so she was working behind the scenes to benefit things in her way, which she was doing. And like I said, Soma was aware. He was not aware of who was doing it, and he certainly wasn't aware that the end goal was marriage. I should stress at this point that he is engaged to 3 women right now, and this princess would be the 4th person that he'd be engaged to if it works out. He is not in a romantic relationship with any of them at this point, although pretty recently he did have a couple of them hang out so that he would sleep comfortable. They chilled with him. But it is, yeah. And I think at least only 2 of them are public that he is engaged to 2 of them, because one of them, it would cause a big uproar if people found out they were engaged. So it's a whole thing. Also, there's a new character in How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom that came in pretty recently, but I haven't talked about. She's a great new character. I forget her name, so I apologize. I can't tell you her name. She's such a great new character that I don't remember her name. But she is a scientist, and she's a short scientist that has her sleeves on her science jacket, her lab coat, are too long. And that's just fun. And then she also made a dragon out of monster parts and dragon scale bones that she's like, I don't know how to power this thing, but I want to learn how the muscles work and how like the parts move. And Soma can power it through his special ability. And we kind of saw that, and like I'm sure that's going to come in handy in the future. But yeah, I don't necessarily think this part 2, which is like the second season or part 2 of the first season, I'm not loving it as much as I love the first one, but I am still enjoying it. It is still fun to watch, and I am still having a good time with it. Yeah, I will be checking it out more in the future. And I'll keep watching it. But yeah, it's still good. And that is the anime and manga that I have been watching, or I have been reading, I should say, and watching. And now this is part of the stream, because we got about a half hour left of the old stream here. I'm going to ask you folks, hey, what are you watching? Are you playing any video games? You watching any TV, any YouTube stuff? There's anything out there that you're like, Pat, you haven't checked this out? What are you even doing? feel free to let me know in the chat. I talked to you. I'm playing Fallout 4 again. I'm doing a new playthrough with that with mods and including a couple new ones. Still having a good time with that. That has still been enjoyable. I don't have any games that I'm like Elden Ring is not a thing I'm interested in. I'm happy for you. One Dawn, Forbidden West, not a thing that I'm particularly like excited about. Happy for you, if that's your jam. But so they're not like, for me, the big releases aren't like hitting me. But there could be something out there that I get. I enjoyed the first episode of Arcade Pit, although I don't really know what's going on at times. Yes, Lord Crashing, I have not watched that yet, but I am aware that it is somewhat of a chaotic environment, and I think that'll come from the people doing it getting more comfortable, and also, some shows are like that. Some shows aren't polished. They are wild times. But yeah, I haven't checked that out yet. I've seen some of the previous, but not in the under the umbrella of Giant Bomb thing. Been playing a bunch of Horizon Zero Dawn today while vegging on the couch. Nice, Dirty. Enjoy that. I hope that was good. I got a pizza last night. I got a medium pepperoni pizza. The reheats for lunch today were better than what I had yesterday because they did not leave it in the oven long enough. But it's a Friday, so that was a Friday, so they probably just had to like get them in and get them out. It was pretty good. Wasn't my favorite slice I've ever had, but it was pretty satisfactory. So I was pleased overall with what I got there. I was pretty amazed by the production of that show. My first time seeing it. Oh yeah, nice. And then I wish they did an explaining app for Arcade Pit like they did for most other new shows. Yes, Lord Crashes in it. Like a 101 on it or an introduction probably would have been beneficial for people tuning in for the first time. Some kind of explainer. Yeah, I can see that. Good outline. Yes. Yeah, I mean, these are good notes, right? This is feedback. A thing that happens to me a lot, right, is I'm generally aware that this is oftentimes people's first like stream, right? So I do my best to kind of like explain what's going on. You don't want to like over explain things for people that have never been here before. When I do like panels at conventions, I always make sure to explain what's going on. And obviously, like, people that have seen improvised postmortem understand improvised postmortem, but there's going to be people in that audience that never have. And so it is important to kind of like guide new people through. And I think that sometimes when you do something for a very long period of time, it becomes, you kind of forget sometimes, like, oh, not everyone's going to know what we're doing here. And sometimes you can use the excuse of, oh, you know what? I have guests that don't know what's going on, and I'll be explaining to the audience, but I'll also be telling the guest what's happening. And you can kind of treat it like that. But I have certainly been guilty of that in the past, of someone just being like, hey, I don't know what you mean by what you just said. I'll be like, oh, shit. Okay, well, here we go. Was looking up something else on Stars and saw they had both Silent Hill movies and watched them again. I have no idea why I remember liking the second one more than the first. Lastberg, I never saw the second one. I saw most of the first one. Maybe I saw all of the first one. But yeah, I definitely did not watch the second Silent Hill. Aristovan has been playing a Ramp Druid deck in Hearthstone featuring a Nyxia raid boss, lots of whelps. Yeah, I have a Nyxia in my Dragon Druid deck. I also, that's all I want to say there. Yeah, I have a Ramp Druid that also has a Nyxia and has like the new 5-drop dragon that also makes whelps, because that's nice to have as well. Because sometimes you end up getting a Nyxia, and then also our dual friend, because that's wild. It's just a weird, wild thing that you can just have dual cards. Are the Silent Hill movies better or worse than the Alone in the Dark movie? Dirty. I would say that I only watched one of the Silent Hill movies, and that is definitely better than Alone in the Dark. So, Alone in the Dark is not a good Alone in the Dark movie, but it is a somewhat minorly bad movie that's kind of good. I did not see the promo image for the Dragon Ball movie that is. Oh no, I have Lastbrook. I have seen that. Yes. Goten. Yeah, I've never seen Uwe Boll movie. Lastbrook. I have seen several Uwe Boll movies. I've never seen all of them. Dungeon Siege is. It's not good, but it actually is kind of fun. I've never seen any of the Blood Rain movies. Those did not look good. But Dungeon Siege, the Dungeon Siege Tale, is it In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale? Is that the actual title? That one's not bad. I would call that fun to watch because the actors are having a good time in it. Alone in the Dark, I did not enjoy watching. Tara Reid as a scientist is funny. It's funny to watch Tara Reid play a scientist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good movie. I don't think it was a good movie, but it was kind of a bad movie that wasn't terrible to watch. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. A good game is trying to find out what service they're on. Oh, Dungeon Siege, The Name of the King, had the actor from Cranked, right? I mean, I'm going to look this up right now. I want to say that, yeah. That's a Jason Statham joint. The Driver movies, yeah. Ron Perlman is in there, yeah. Name of the King. King movie. My keyboard is too far away from me. Name of the King. A Dungeon Siege Tale. There was a sequel? Oh, no. Ron Perlman is in some bad movies. Ron Perlman is in some very bad movies. You're not wrong. Let's check out this cast. It is Jason Statham, Ron Perlman, and Ray Liotta Ray Liotta might think that he's in a better movie than he is in that. That's the person who, because, Jason Statham is just sure, okay. Ron Perlman is fuck. This is what I'm doing. Matthew Lillard knows exactly what kind of movie he's in. Is having a great time. And just like John Rhys Davies is John Rhys Davies is like Ron Perlman, just being ugh, I guess I'm doing this. But Ray Liotta might think that he's in Lord of the Rings, and that's sad because he's definitely fucking trying in that movie. Ray Liotta giving an inspired performance. Yeah, he's he's given it his all. It's like he thinks he's in a better movie. I'm just going to look at somewhere oh, that's right. Fucking Burt Reynolds is in it. Burt Reynolds seems to be having a tough time in that movie, in his life at the time. I wish he had more fun in it. I wish it was like Street Fighter for him, but it's not. But Matthew Lillard is just I know what the source material is. I know this isn't going to be good. I know who Uwe Boll is. I know I'm in a bad movie, and he responds accordingly. Ron Perlman usually puts in an okay performance in some real dreck, but sometimes he doesn't. Speaking of people surprisingly in sci-fi movies, the second Silent Hill movie has Kit Harington, Carrie-Anne Moss, Malcolm McDowell, and a returning Sean Bean. I mean, Sean Bean will show up. Malcolm McDowell is a little bit of a surprise, but hey, that kind of famous quote from Timothy Oliphant about why he was in that one of the many very bad movies that he was in, but a bad video game movie that he was in, was because he had bought a house and then his TV show was canceled. And he was well, I just bought a house. Sure, I'll shave my head and be in a bad movie. Sure. Bean needs the green. I don't know. Bean will show up, as I said. We are body complete on this kit. We have the backpack and the weapons left, but we have completed the body on our kit. We put this together, and as mentioned, I do recommend if you pick up the Helios kit, you take a little bit of blue tack, shove it in there, because this is not good. This is very not good. That's no pressure. I'm gonna no pressure. That's real bad. I'm going to get some blue tack. I probably, yeah, that should be okay. I'm going to stuff that with blue tack, shove that in there. I'll most likely for Monday, I will take the stand that's there. The Wing Gundam is on the stand. I will grab that stand. I will place this on there so that because once I put the back back on here, it's not going to stand up on its own weight. Once I put a back on here, it's going to go like this and fall apart. So I will most likely get the stand to take some pressure off of this kit. Are there any actors you enjoy when they give 100% of a movie that you didn't really need it? Nick Cage is excluded because he's obviously #1 pick. Yeah, so like, John Goodman. John Goodman doesn't half-ass movies. He's not in a million movies, right? But like, John Goodman fucking gives it. He goes for it. If he's in a comedy, he's fucking great. If he's in a biopic, he's great. If he's like the dad in something, he's awesome. John Goodman, there are not bad John Goodman performances. There are great John Goodman performances in bad movies. Because he's a fucking professional and he doesn't fuck around. I'm trying to think if there are other folks. If you have ideas of people that are like given 100% in movies where they definitely know 10 Cloverfield Lane is good because of him. I never saw 10 Cloverfield Lane, but I believe you. But yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Gilded Creed says, does going over 100% count? Because that would open the door for Willem Dafoe. I mean, Willem Dafoe, yeah, he's either giving 100% or he's giving like 120%. And yeah, I think that's totally like worth mentioning. I was gonna say John Malkovich. John Malkovich is doing a lot in Red, which is not a good movie. And also, he's having a really good time in Red 2, which is also not a good movie. But John Malkovich is like, I'm playing a wacky person. I'm going to have a romance storyline. I'm going to have like cool revenge moments. I'm going to be like out there and I'm going to go wild with it and have a good time. But yeah, look, I saw Red in Los Angeles in the theater when it came out because I was in LA visiting people and having a vacation. It was very, very fun. And then it rained 2 days in a row, which if you're on Twitter and you have anybody in LA on your Twitter feed, you know that everyone talks about when it rains because it just doesn't. It doesn't rain 2 days in a row in October. It just doesn't happen. So the second day I was like, well, I traveled across the country and I'm just going to like text a friend. I texted someone that lived right near where I was staying and I was like, hey, there's a movie theater. Do you want to go see a movie? I don't know what's playing. And then my friend was like, let's go see Red. I wonder if Bruce Willis cares about this movie, is like game or not. And he wasn't. But mostly. But I was like, sure, let's go watch Red. And so we saw Red, and it was fine. That entire ProZD bit about it. In Lastberg, indeed, there is a ProZD bit about that. But yeah. Yeah, that's a fine enough movie. I enjoy when Jeff Goldblum gets to be 100% Goldblum in a movie. Yeah, sometimes you do get the sense that maybe people want like 80% Goldblum, and then it's like, why even book Jeff Goldblum? Like, I don't understand why did you go out of your way? You're paying this man, pay him. Get the full thing. If he's like not feeling it, that's one thing. But yeah, I've seen it where it's just like, this is weird casting because you have Jeff Goldblum. You could just have him like go for it. I don't know. The new Jurassic World movie understands that. You know, I haven't seen any of those. I saw the first 3 movies, and I have not seen any of the new the World franchise. I have heard about because I I listen to podcasts where they watch movies and talk about them. So I have heard people talk about one of them, but I have not seen them. I feel like someday I will. I only get sick like once every 2 to 3 years. Like actually, like, oh no, I gotta lay down. I'm not good right now. Sick. It's very rare that happens to me. I mostly am just like, oh, I'm a little stuffed up. Oh, my allergies are bad. I'm not like, oh, I'm bedridden. I need soup. I need crackers. I need to watch daytime television. Like that rarely happens for me. But I feel like the next time that I'm sick, I'm just gonna watch all the world movies. That's usually when I watch movies that I'm like, I have so much other things I could do with my life. I'm not gonna do that. But when I'm like, I can't, you know that kind of sick where you're like, I can't be looking at my phone right now. I gotta like breathe somewhere. I'm gonna figure this out. I gotta like take it easy. I need a break. All right, how does this fit in here? This fits in like no. Sorry, friends. Sometimes this takes a second. Oh, okay. It goes like that. I'm looking at the wrong part. That's why I couldn't get this right. I was doing it wrong. I wasn't doing it right. The second Jurassic World movie is bad since nothing of consequence really happens outside of the opening and the ending. That last Rook, that is bad when there's like, it doesn't feel like a reason to be there. But yeah, eventually I'll see all of them. I'll watch them back to back to back, probably, because there will be a day coming up where I just feel like ass and want to watch some bad movies. It's just we haven't been there in a while. It's been a hot minute since I felt that. I like how the T-Rex in the second World movie gets to be both a horror movie monster and the hero of the movie in the same movie. That's fun. That is the one that like I don't remember any details, but I did listen to a podcast where they talked about that movie. I just don't have any memories of it. All right. We got a lot of components. This backpack's going to be a good chunk of Monday's stream. The weapons will be very easy to build. Our beam weapons and our big guns. I mean, the big guns are part of this build, but these weapons are going to be pretty simple to put together. I'm not worried about it. The backpack does have it has top guns and bottom guns. See that there. Top guns and bottom guns. That's kind of fun. So this is going to be a lot of our stream next Monday. This coming Monday will be us continuing to work on this backpack. We are basically body complete. We got the weapons. I got to get some blue tack to take care of that, which I will. But that is going to be our stream for the day. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream, as we go on a raid. So we'll do that. Just got to get this ready over here. Mute my audio so that when I go to my page, to see who's streaming right now, you don't hear me from a couple seconds ago. I hear me, but you don't get to hear me. You don't have to hear me, I should say. All right, who is streaming that we want to go check out? You know what? Let's find out a little bit more about Horizon Forbidden West. Arthur Geese is playing it. Aegis is over there doing his thing. We like Arthur around here, so we'll go check out Arthur's stream. And I will say thank you very much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you for everybody, all the new people that came in. Thank you for all the often hears, returning friends. Thank you to, sorry, turn the thing off there. Come back on Monday as we wrap this kit up and we begin the Beyond Gundam, and Beyond Global, I should say. And we're going to go on a raid. So come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I will see you again in the future on Monday. And have a lovely rest of your night. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.